Thunder Thursday with the News OK Thunder coverage team. I'm your fill-in host, Darnell Mayberry. Mike Sherman is off. Jenny Carlson is off. But in studio, we have Thunder beat writer Eric Horn. We have columnist from his home in Norman, Barry Trammell. And we have Thunder beat writer from Portland. You can't see him, but trust us, he's there, Anthony Slater. We'll jump right into it.
I'm definitely here.
He's here.
Eric, the Thunder rested Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka last night in Portland. They lost 120 to 115, I believe. What do you make of that game last night, and what should we take from it?
Well, I think I tweeted something along the lines last night of you can't knock the Thunder reserves hustle. I thought they played a pretty good game considering. I mean, they made it a 5-point game in the end, and they didn't play they didn't play 4 of the 5 starters. What do we make of it overall? I don't know if there's much to make of it besides things that we already knew. I mean, these guys can play when they get extended minutes, but it's how they operate within the role of coming off the bench is what's more important because, you know, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook will be playing the bulk of the minutes once the playoffs come. We did get a look at Josh Huestis, though, and I think Anthony can probably expand on that more since he was there in Portland.
Slater?
Well, number one, we can talk about Houston in a little bit, but the weird thing was in Detroit. Remember they rested guys in Detroit last week and they couldn't score. I think the final was like 84, 80 or whatever. It was in the 80s. And then last night they were scoring easily. They just couldn't defend. 120, 115 is the final. As far as Houston goes, yes, 21 minutes. He's only played 42 minutes in his career, but I'm writing about him for tomorrow's paper. And I mean, the thing is, like, he's done stuff that Kyle Sigler hasn't been able to do for the past month. Kyle Sigler's missed 16 straight threes. Josh Houston is 4 of 4 from 3. He's blocked a couple shots. I mean, this is the guy that was the Stanford shot blocking. It is ridiculous to think that Houston is even a rotation option at this point. But with what has happened at the Thunder's backup wing, which is Sigler is just playing terribly, Anthony Morrow can't seem to earn Billy Donovan's trust defensively. Is Josh Houston the best option at that backup wing of those 3?
What about it, Barry? Should Josh Huestis be playing over Kyle Singler?
I don't see how it can hurt since you're not trying to win these games anyway. You might as well let him play, see what he can do. Here's what I like about him. I don't have any idea if he can guard at this level. But I'll say this, for a guy that theoretically couldn't shoot, he doesn't have bad form.
Nice form, I think.
When you watch Andre Robertson shoot, you know why he misses. But when you watch Josh Huestis shoot, he looks like he knows what he's doing. So I think I'd keep trotting him out there here down the stretch. I think it's a lost cause to try to restore Singler's confidence. So you might as well see what you got with Huestis.
One thing with Houston is you're right as far as we don't know if he can consistently guard on this level, but a couple things we do know, he's super athletic. He's 6'7", 230. He can move. I mean, he looks like a prime NBA athlete, even in warm-ups. And then the other thing is this guy's really intelligent. It seemed, who knows if his basketball IQ is super high, but his IQ is really high. He went to Stanford. You got to think he understands coverages, different things that they like about Singler. So to me, at this point, he seems like a better shooting Kyle Singler.
Eric, or Anthony, let's go back to you. How much is Singler's poor play of late a result of the back injury? Before he had the back injury, he was playing sort of well. How much is his poor performance of late due to the back injury?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it gets him out of rhythm a little bit because, like you said, he was playing decently for about a month and a half. But, you can't blame his first month and a half on the back injury. I mean, this is a guy who's shooting 27% from 3 this season. And really ever since he got with the Thunder, Darnell, you were there last year, he was a guy that we were talking about maybe being a contributor because of his numbers in Detroit and how he played. But what is to suggest that he can consistently contribute on the Thunder since he's been here? There's nothing.
Well, the thing that stands out to me, Eric, is he's a veteran. He hadn't been in the league all that long, but he's been in the league longer than Josh Huestis. So when it comes playoff time, I think Billy Donovan will trust a guy like Singler, even if he hadn't performed well lately, over a Josh Huestis.
Yeah, I was
going to say, there's no question Billy Donovan will, but the question is, should he?
Eric?
I mean, like we've been saying, you give him that test run these last few games, see what Huestis can do. I don't think he's going to throw him out there in those situations. I don't think he should. I don't think it's fair to Huestis to throw him out in those playoff situations where the pressure is going to be turned up night after night. But it is troubling to me, not just that that Kyle Singler isn't playing well, but he's also fouling at a high rate like he was before in the beginning of the season too. That's just a detriment to the entire operation, because when he at least wasn't shooting well, he got to a point to where he was playing competent defense. Now he's fouling at a high rate again. So it does raise a question. I mean, let's give Houston some run this last few and see what you can come of it, if not for the playoffs, for next year in terms of his confidence.
Barry, you've been Kyle Singler's biggest supporter around these parts. Outside of these last 3 games, what suggests to you, if anything, that Kyle Singler should be a part of the rotation come playoff time?
Well, the Kyle Singler question comes down to this. The Thunder has a great offense, big-time offense. They've got a mediocre defense. So anybody that wants a change, please talk to me about something that's going to improve the defense. Anthony Morrow playing more is not going to help the defense. Cameron Payne playing more is not going to help the defense. Enes Kanter playing more is not going to help the defense. Now, Josh Huestis, I'm intrigued. Kevin Durant playing 44 minutes a game, I'm intrigued. But
well, there's your answer.
But this idea that you can, get rid of Singler and all your problems are solved, that's not the case.
No, I agree with you on that, but the problem is, you're right, the Thunder's offense is not its problem, long term. But just think back to the Spurs games, a great example, down in San Antonio when they played the Spurs really well. But 4 times in that game, Kyle Singler, off good offense, off a nice Durant pass cross quarter or different times, he had 4 wide open threes. It was off good offense. He needs to hit 1 or 2 of those. He misses all 4. They're kind of back-breaking misses after a good offensive possession. If he just cannot hit a 3, which right now he cannot, literally has missed 16 straight, that just kind of crumbles big moments in the second quarter, late in the third or early fourth. If his shot's not there, I don't think you can play it.
All right, guys, there are 3 games left in the regular season. What do you guys want to see out of these last 3 games?
I want to see Josh Huestis.
More Josh
this has
Huestis.
turned into a Houston spot.
No, I really do. I really do want to see Josh Huestis, and I said it before, not just for if he's going to play in the playoffs, which I don't think he is, but just for his confidence going forward. I mean, they drafted this guy in the first round a couple years ago. They're not getting anything out of Mitch McGary, so that would be 2 wash picks in the first round of the 2014 draft if you're not getting anything out of Josh Huestis. So to have some confidence going into, be it Summer League or the next season, I think it'd be interesting to see Josh Huestis get as much run as possible in these next 3 games, especially because they're of no consequence because the Thunder are already locked into the 3rd seed.
Barry, what about it? The Thunder is locked into that 3rd seed. What do you want to see out of these last 3 games?
Oh, I really just want to see everybody healthy. That's really it. So I don't care about, we're past the point of outside of a Josh Huestis or somebody coming in from the outside. We're past the point of development and improvement and all those things. What we need is to see the Thunder healthy going into the playoffs. So I think just, continue to rest these guys. And I don't know if they'll play Tuesday night against San Antonio. I assume they'll play Monday night against Kobe. But just something along those lines, just stay healthy.
Slater, what are the chances that Billy Donovan rests his guys? Obviously, they love Kobe Bryant. Russell Westbrook grew up a big Kobe Bryant fan. Kevin Durant is a big Kobe Bryant
They're playing
fan.
Monday.
What are the chances Billy Donovan rests his main guys in some of these last 3?
I think he's going to rest him. I think it's almost a guarantee, none of the big guys play in San Antonio on Tuesday. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if a couple guys rest, in the last game in Arco Sleep Train Arena, coming up on Saturday. But Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are playing Monday. They may only play 25 minutes. They may blow the Lakers out in those 25 minutes. But there's no way, I don't think, that they're not going to be on the court for Kobe's last NBA road game. They just like him too much.
All right, guys, we'll take it league-wide a little bit here with Golden State. The Warriors are chasing history, 73 wins. They need to go, what is it, Eric, 4-0?
They got to win the rest of them.
They got to win out to get 73 wins and beat the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, 72-10 record. Questions are, can they do it? And they've lost their last 2 at home. Are they showing signs of trouble, or are they just bored? Eric?
Whether they can do it or not, I think depends on the Spurs and what they want to do. I think they have 2 more games against the Spurs. The Spurs obviously don't have anything invested in the Warriors streak or anything like that. So if the Spurs want to rest their guys, that gives the Warriors a chance of going out and doing it. Even if the Spurs don't rest their guys, the Warriors could still go out and win. But the Spurs are going to be the big deterrent between the Warriors winning these last few games or not. And I guess it's going to be up to Greg Popovich in a sense. Now, should they be resting guys? I think at this point, I probably would. I mean, unless they have a fear that somehow the Spurs are going to win the last 4 and Golden State's going to lose the last 4, which I don't think is going to happen anyway. So in that case, the Spurs would jump them and get the number 1 seed, which is highly unlikely because Golden State's going to win one of those games in the last 4. So I'd rest everybody. There's no. I mean, it doesn't matter if they get the record or not to me. I mean, maybe they're doing it for pride.
If you come this close, you got to at least try for the record if you only have 4 games left. Anthony, I think we all set on this very set last week or 2 weeks ago and said that we all thought that they would get the record. Has your opinion changed?
I think they're going to tie it. I think I might have even said that a couple weeks ago. I think they'll hit 72. I think they're going to lose one of these games to the Spurs. I think they'll beat the Grizzlies twice. And, it's still a pretty impressive feat to tie that Bulls team. So that's kind of my guess at this point.
Barry, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think probably 3-1 finish. But here's the deal. I think this is wearing on them. The Warriors have made this a cause. They've made it a goal. And I think we're seeing some signs of stress reaching them. And I think they're ready for it to come to an end, either the season or just a chance. Draymond Green or somebody the other day mentioned, every day we hear somebody new, some old player talking about us, whether it's Oscar Robertson talking about Curry as an individual or Scottie Pippen talking about the Warriors as a team. It's just something all the time that's really unrelated to the business at hand, which is winning the title again. So, I think this is wearing on them. I think you might see a refreshed Warriors team once the playoffs start, just because they can get rid of this 73 mindset in their head and constantly being reminded of it.
Yeah, well, one thing, they're about to get, 4 or 5 days off before the playoffs start. And then you got to think they're probably going to have a short first-round series, whoever they play. So they might get another week off after the first round, leading up until probably their first challenge, which, this team's going to be fine come playoff time.
Anthony, I'll stay with you and ask you, do you think that the Thunder, or our opinion of the Thunder's chances against the Warriors in a potential second-round matchup, if the Spurs can somehow leapfrog the Warriors for that top seed, do you think our opinion should change on how the Thunder would fare against Golden State in a potential second-round series?
No, I mean, I think they're underdogs. I think they have a chance. I think they'd need to play nearly flawless. I think they'd need to play big against the Warriors, which is always a dangerous proposition. But I just think with the Thunder's roster construction, I think they have to do that. But the Warriors, their greatness, in my opinion, hasn't changed just because, they lost to the Celtics and Timberwolves at home. They're the easy, prohibitive favorite. The Thunder would much rather have the Spurs in the second round. They're going to get the Spurs in the second round, and they're going to have to, if they get by them, they got to beat the Warriors in the conference finals.
I just thought of this, Anthony. You're in Portland's airport on your way to, I presume, Sacramento. Is that right?
Yes, Sacramento.
Any chance you drive, what is that, west, south to Oakland? I don't know my geography when it comes to Northern California, but is there any chance you go check out the Warriors tonight against the Spurs?
It would be west, first of all. It would be about an hour and a half. Unlikely, considering the time I'm going to get in and just other plans and things I have to do tonight. No, I will not be at the Warriors-Spurs game. But,
other plans, with air quotes, other plans.
Well, I was going to say, I'm from the area, so, I know a few people. So don't tell the boss I might, be at this game tonight, because it ain't happening.
All right, Barry, do you think the Thunder, our opinion of the Thunder's chances should change against Golden State in a potential second-round matchup?
If what?
If the Spurs somehow get that top seed and the Warriors fall to number 2 and the Thunder potentially sees them in the second round, Do you think the Thunder has a better chance given how the Warriors have played lately, or is it basically what you just said, sort of boredom setting in with this team and they're fine?
Well, they'd have to lose out, wouldn't they? I mean,
The Warriors would for the Spurs to get that top seed, yes.
yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
not happening.
if the Warriors lose out, then we can reconvene. Yes, I
Well,
would
two
say.
of those games against San Antonio, Barry.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then the
And
two
two are
against Memphis, right?
Yeah, 2 against me and Barry Trammell playing for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Barry Trammel's fighting Grizzlies.
You know what? I still think the Spurs are a better matchup for the Thunder. I think their chance, whatever round they would play the Spurs, they're better off than playing the Warriors. If Golden State somehow loses 5 in a row to end the season, well then, you know, we might have to talk about it, but I don't see that happening.
Look, I don't think anyone can argue the Spurs are a better matchup or a worse matchup for the Thunder right now, because I don't think anyone can argue that the Spurs are a better matchup than the Thunder for anybody. But another thing is, like, the Thunder can stay big against the Spurs, which I think is important, because as we talked, their roster is way better with the big men. Against the Warriors, you know, the small lineup may end up being their kind of death.
Anthony, didn't the Thunder have some success playing Enes Kanter and Steven Adams against the Warriors?
Yeah, they did, especially the first game, you know, right before the Super Bowl. I thought it was kind of an interesting twist. Donovan had Kanter guard Sean Livingston. He had Steven Adams out on the perimeter, you know, guarding Iguodala at times. I think that might become a very intriguing storyline to watch if they actually end up meeting up in the conference finals. Who knows how it'll work? You know, Steve Kerr is going to adjust, but like I said, I really do think the Thunder need to stay big.
You're watching Thunder Thursday at newsok.com. I'm Darnell Mayberry filling in for Mike Sherman with Eric Horn, Anthony Slater, and Barry Trammell. Eric, I want to talk a little bit about Russell Westbrook's triple-doubles. He got 17 the other night at Denver, his 17th triple-double of the season. What do you make of all of these triple-doubles? How impressive is it? And do you think in these last 3 games he'll be able to get that 18th and match Magic Johnson for, what, the most since 1985, something like that?
I think he will be able to. I think he's already matched Magic for the 17 since maybe 89 or something like that. But yeah, in these last few games, he should be able to get one in the last 3 games that they have. I mean, they're playing the Lakers and the Kings, which will be teams that he could get him against easily. And then the Spurs probably aren't going to play anybody in the last game. So if they elected to play Russell Westbrook in that game, he could get it there. The remarkable thing to me about the triple-doubles is that how many he's had in 3 quarters. Throughout the season, I think he's had about 7 in 3 quarters, and that's as many as the entire league has had. So it just goes to show you how efficient Russell Westbrook's been up to this point in the season. And he's playing at a high level, maybe the highest ever that he's had in his career.
Barry, what impresses you the most about what Russell Westbrook's been able to do filling up the stat sheet from night to night?
I'm impressed by Westbrook's increased quarterbacking over the last year or 2. He's a much better passer than we ever thought he could be. He sees the court well. He looks for the open man. He distributes the ball. Now, sometimes he does that to excess, but I mean, there's sometimes I want him to shoot more. But you know, the way he distributes the ball, you know, he scores, he rebounds, but those assists, I mean, he's second in the league in assists. So it's hard to argue with a guy doing that, considering that, you know, 15 minutes ago, the whole nation called him a ball hog.
Which is surprising
To
that
me,
you said you want him to shoot more. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was gonna say, to me, the most impressive part is the rebounding. I mean, he's rebound. I think he has something like 200 or 250 more rebounds than any other guard in the league right now. And that's, you know, we talk about the triple doubles. There's guys like Rajon Rondo, which if he could rebound at the rate Westbrook had, he'd probably have, you know, 20 triple doubles, but he just can't. And then part of that is, like, the Thunder's the 3rd best rebounding team in the history of the NBA. You know, right now I think their differential's like plus 0.8, 0.7, and it keeps going up. They're just killing teams on the glass, especially offensive rebounding, and that's like a huge characteristic of this team that I think gets undertold. Not Adams, you know, Durant's a good rebounder, Robertson, but like Russell Westbrook is like not just like an elite rebounder for a point guard, but like maybe the best rebounding point guard ever. Like, is that too strong?
Well, I'll say he's a wonderful rebounder, but I'll bet he averages 3 rebounds a game that he takes away from teammates. And they've learned, Adams, Ibaka, Durant even, just about everybody. They've learned that, hey, if Russell's around, and just let him have it. Keeps the peace.
All right, guys. Kobe Bryant's final basketball game on the road will come right here in Oklahoma City on Monday night. Barry, we'll stick with you. What will the Thunder do you think, and what should they do to honor Kobe Bryant?
Oh, they whatever they do, it'll be way too much.
Not a
Wow.
Kobe fan, huh, Barry?
So
Wow.
I'm so tired of this Kobe stuff. I mean,
Well, don't worry. You only got 3 more games of it.
yeah, and it's going to seem like 3 years. For crying out loud, if you're a Laker fan, you can't wait until Thursday morning, because all of a sudden the Lakers at
Is
least
this-
have the opportunity to get back in the business of winning basketball games. I don't know if they will, but they've left the land of trying to win basketball games.
Now Nick Young is still going to be on the roster Thursday morning, so we're not sure they're going to be back
I'm
into
not-
winning basketball games.
Now, I'm not saying they're going to start
Hey.
winning, but they have the opportunity. They have left the land of competition. They're just into entertainment. And, Kobe was a great player, but he did not score, 4 million points and invent penicillin. The idea that he invented penicillin has taken quite a bit of a hold, that he's deserving of some Humanitarian of the Year award. It's just flat wore me out. So Monday night, I don't know if I'll be there. It'll be me or Jackie O. I don't know who's going. If it's me, I'm going to hold my nose and cover the game and be glad when it's over.
Harsh, Barry.
I was going to say, are we getting a preview of your column?
I don't even know if I'm supposed to write about Kobe, but if I do,
Sounds like
I
you got
can.
some strong opinions.
I can do it.
Anthony, what about it? What do you think the Thunder will do, and what do you think they should do?
Well, you're going to hear a little bit of intercom over my talking right now because I'm in the airport. But I think they're going to do a video, some kind of video montage. I think Durant and Westbrook will be heavily involved because we've talked about their relationship with Kobe. And then I think behind the scenes they'll probably give him some gifts or some other things, just like pretty much every other team in the NBA has done this season in his last game there.
Eric, it's his last road game. We haven't really seen the Thunder do anything to honor opposing players. And when former players have come back, they've sort of put messages up on the video board, subtle things here and there, but they've never really made a big deal about a former player. I think, Anthony, you correct me if I'm wrong, I think they had a video tribute for one player. I'm not sure who that player might have been. Maybe it was Kendrick Perkins? I don't remember.
I don't think they did. I was almost shocked at how little they did for Perkins.
They just showed him on the screen, basically.
And
Yeah.
like, the
Okay,
crowd got
okay.
up and
So,
clapped.
Eric, what do you think they should do, knowing that this is an organization that doesn't really generally do that type of thing for opposing players?
I think if Durant and Westbrook want to, they should go out and say words, maybe go out before the game or after the game and say something about their adoration for Kobe. I mean, they've said it time and time again to us, but those guys might feel compelled to say it to the crowd and have Kobe out there. Maybe he gets a standing ovation. Then, blow the doors off the Lakers and let's go on to the playoffs.
Yeah. I think they should honor him, Barry. I'm shocked that you have Kobe fatigue. I don't understand where this is coming from. The guy is one of the all-time greats, probably a top 5 player of all time. He's got 5 championship rings. If he didn't have injuries over these last couple years, who knows what the Lakers would be right now. And not to mention the Chris Paul trade that was vetoed by the NBA. All kinds of things that went wrong for the Lakers that was out of Kobe's control. So I'm a little surprised that you have such venom for Kobe Bryant.
If Kobe Bryant wasn't injured, no telling what their record would be. Is that what you just said?
The guy
you
is
on
one
the-
of the all-time greats, Barry. I can't believe that you're dogging him like this.
He's 74 years old. Bob Pettit was one of the all-time greats. You think he ought to
Not
start the
this
All-Star
year,
game?
Barry. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying the last couple of years. You said they're not in the business of winning anymore. They're in the entertainment business. Well, it's because Kobe's been hurt.
It's because they didn't cut the ties when they needed to. They're paying a guy $30 million a year who can't play anymore. They wanted to honor Kobe Bryant.
I'll ask you,
Meanwhile-
how many millions do you think he's helping them make by being in the building every night?
And what you just said makes my point. They're in the entertainment business. They're not in the business of winning ball games. Somebody wake me up when the Lakers go back into the business of trying to win ball games.
I vote Barry writes the column off Monday's game.
I'm excited to read it.
Barry, we got to get you to the game Monday night. That's
Get me
all
to
for
the
Thunder
church.
Thursday.
Get me
Thanks for
to the
joining
church.
us.
Get me to the church on time.
Oh my.
Hey, there's no better outro than that. Thanks for joining us.